Hey, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Straight Up Show podcast. I am your host, joined by my co-host and co-creators, Brandon and Lee. How you guys doing today?
It's all good today.
But all right.
All right, well, guess what, y'all? This is our season finale. We've made it to 13 episodes. How does it feel?
Well, I do have to say, trying to get here, has been an experience. I think we all could honestly say, like, this has turned out way better than we thought. The show, in terms of like the content, we have had some amazing episodes.
Right.
You, sir, have done an amazing job putting together, like, from the very beginning, like, compared to what you know now to what you knew when we, first thought about putting this back together.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun.
Well, I thank you for those nice words. And Brandon, you've been a great help to me, teaching me how to do stuff like this and making this transition. And Lee, I came up to you asking you, hey, just, bear with me. And, if I get kind of down about doing it, be supportive, So I thank you so much for that, Lee.
Thank y'all for including me. Like, I'm pretty dang proud of what we've put out so far. And I'm super looking forward to seeing where it goes from here. And yeah, it's literally an honor to be here. Thank y'all.
Yeah, I didn't talk to Lee in the longest before we did this. So, like, just getting everybody back together to bring the show back has been, probably the best. Can't say that. Has been a great thing for 2020, at least.
Yeah, and you're right. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today is kind of just celebrating the show itself and bringing it all back together. And with that being said, we do have three special guests, some that you know and some you don't know. Let's welcome Kristina. Kristina's been a guest in our show for a couple episodes this first season. So, Kristina, how you doing today?
I'm doing so well today. Thank you for inviting me back.
Oh, you're welcome as always, even though your invitation was cut last episode because you were
I told you you're not important. Brandon said I could come back, so I don't care what you say.
Godly.
I hold grudges. And I want to introduce one of my favorite people who I have not talked to in a long time, but this person was our director, editor, just all around workhorse at our college, and now she's in the field still. Kaylynn, how you doing today, Kaylynn?
I'm good. How are y'all?
I'm doing so good. Thank you for being on our show today.
Of course. Thank y'all for the invitation.
You are one of his favorite people.
Yeah, I told her we talk about her all the time. She doesn't believe me. We talk about you all the time.
He really does.
All good things, I hope.
Oh, definitely all good things. All good things. They're
We
laughing,
probably don't
Kaylynn.
talk about the bad things enough, actually, because they're pretty funny.
Yeah.
Themselves.
And they're laughing because I told you we really talk about you a lot. So if Kaylynn's like one of our in basketball, they have the sixth man. She wasn't one of the four creators, but she definitely is the backbone of our show. So we're going to talk more with Kaylynn here pretty soon. But last but not least, we have another hard worker that we worked with, one of the most laid back, coolest guys that you will ever talk to. I don't think I've ever seen him mad at all. Craig, how you doing today, Craig?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for taking time out to come talk to us. So we're definitely going to kind of get back more into this. And we're going to talk about our reunion. This is a reunion for us. A lot of us, this is for our college reunion. So we're going to go more in detail about the show and talk to our guests. And, yeah, stay tuned because we have a special guest that none of the panelists know who it is, but they will be surprised. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. Like I said, this is a reunion episode. So I'm pretty sure if you've been following the podcast, our show started off at a community college called Bossier Parish Community College. The show was found or thought of at a restaurant. We don't know which one it was. I forgot. But we were hungry. We came up with a show about What was it? Did you say?
Right here, it had to be China flag. If it wasn't Mr. Gaddy's, which I really feel like it was Mr. Gaddy's, it was China flag. But I really feel like it was Mr. Gaddy's.
I can't tell you. I really forgot. I'm that old. But we were hungry and we were eating. But our advisors came up to us and they challenged us to come up with a concept, and that's where we came up with a show. Since we had to do work on the scholarship program which is using the camera equipment and our news program at the community college, we want to do a little bit more. So to give other students opportunity who weren't in the scholarship program to learn their craft outside of the classrooms, we came up with a show for students, ran by students, and hosted by students. And so that's what straight up came about. I was the host. I did mostly the talking and stuff like that. And Brandon, can you just tell everybody what you did on the show?
Basically what I'm doing now.
Which is
the technical part, helping you like get all the technical things going. And also like we did once again, the show had video back then, so helping out in really any way I could. I was a panelist too.
Yeah, you were a panelist. Yeah, you were. Like 2 episodes, I think you were a panelist. And of course, we had Courtney. Courtney was our director. I'm not for sure what Courtney did. I don't know what he did on the show, but he was definitely there doing whatever we asked him to do. Courtney, you probably won't ever hear him on the show. If that ever happens, that would be a shock to me. But he's definitely here in spirit. So Courtney, thank you if you're out there for helping. But he is our referee. He is the third person on the show. He's the third host, the peacemaker within the group. Lee, can't just tell you how much I appreciate you, man, just talking to me and keeping us a level ahead about everything. So if you can tell everybody what you did on the show in regards to Straight Up.
Yeah, man. Just once again, just I'm so appreciative for you including me in this whole thing. It's been a really fun ride. But yeah, like what you mentioned, I was kind of a big part of the brain trust because that first initial meeting at either Gaddy's or China Flag, they're both in the same shopping center, so y'all can probably imagine why we're confused. But we had many other lunch meetings after that, like just talking about the format of the show, topic ideas, stuff like that. And then for the actual production side, I was kind of not a gopher, but like wherever you need me, I'm there. Like you need someone to run an audio board, okay, I'll sit there. Or you need someone to stand behind a camera, cool, I'm there. And I'm still happy to do things like that.
Thank you for doing that and still doing it right now. I'm sorry that we're rushing through all of us because you guys have heard our podcast, so we don't want to brag about us too much. We want to. This is for the other people that you don't hear and you see on TV. So
I do. I just remember what I did. I was the one that created the logo and the graphics. I was the one that was doing most of the graphics, and Courtney was the one that was really helping out, I think, with the video or sound.
Well, whatever y'all did, thank you, because I mean, without most of y'all, this would not be possible. But we don't want to spend too much on us and us three and what we've done. This is all about the other people that you don't see and you hear about on the show. That being somebody that's been on our episodes probably since day one, not only on the podcast but on the TV show as well, which is Kristina. I know I brag about this, or I mess with her about not coming back on the show, but there's a good reason why I choose her is because she's very vocal, she's very opinionated, and just some of the things that she says is not what you would think that we would agree with, but we definitely embrace her opinion. So, Kristina, can you just tell us what you've done on the show?
Just sitting back and talking from the beginning. That's all I do. I'm just invited. I talk too much and then I go on about my day. I didn't do any of the important work. You guys did all of that. I would just sit there, put on a mic, and try not to look stupid in front of a camera. That's it.
Definitely.
But I enjoyed it.
And we enjoyed you. And that's one of the reasons why we had you on the show. Can you just tell us, since the Straight Up show, I know that people probably heard you already, but just to remind us, what's going on now? Like, what made you come back to be a guest on the show besides us asking you?
Again, I really enjoyed the concept of it, and I enjoyed, hearing the opinions of people, not just because I knew you, but the idea of people within my area wanting to reach another type of platform and speak to other people and get their ideas out there and show that there's more to us as individuals than what we're seen as, I suppose. That kind of motivated me to help in whatever way I could.
Well, we thank you so much for coming on the show. This is probably your last time on the show, so just go ahead and get your talking in right now. I'm just kidding. Next up, we have Kaylynn, and like I told you in the last block, Kaylynn is one of our backbones, and she has been. You kind of like Lee said, just whatever you ask her to do, she'll do it, and she gave us a lot of input what the show should be like. And so, Kaylynn, welcome to the show once again. But it's been a long time since we heard from you. What's been going on since the show?
Well, since the Bipsy days, I have gotten married, now have a 1.5-year-old son named Kaylynn. I am actually still in the field, so I work at KSLA News 12 as a marketing producer. So I actually do promotions for the station, do commercials for clients, and I also produce a 30-minute show every Monday morning called The Hometown Show.
Wow, that makes me feel so just proud of you, Kaylynn, because it's not that every day you hear somebody who goes to school for something and they're actually working in their career field. I can't say the same. I've done it, but I'm very proud of you. I just can't thank you enough for being on our show and helping out so much. And I'm glad that you were able to come on the show.
Oh, well, thank you for the opportunity. I mean, I loved working with y'all, even, back then, if we say so that way. But, and I'd love more opportunities now.
I do think it's funny she ended up with that particular job, because I remember when we was like, okay, if we're going to do this, we really need that director that will keep us in check. And we all, with no hesitation, was like, yeah, we need to get Kaylynn to do it.
Oh man, I'm not, man, Kaylynn. Oh, like I say, we never talk about the bad with Kaylynn, but man, let me say, somebody that can put you in check. What's the saying that the quiet ones are the ones you should watch out for? Yeah, she's definitely the quiet one, but man, when it's time to get work done, do not play with her.
Yeah, I just remember just trying to fool with other stuff or not being in the seat before the show, and Kaylynn's like, "Where's Brandon?" I was like, "Gotta get to my chair."
Yeah, because Brandon, you were likely having the seat right next to me, so I always knew where you were.
Yeah, that's cool that you have that job at KSLA.
Well, I just remember going over. Kaylynn would keep us in check. I would be going over my time, and Kaylynn would be in my IFB, which is an earpiece for people that don't know, in my ear saying, "Hey, wrap up, wrap. You gotta wrap down." So, thank you for always keeping us in line, because we were like a family in that group, and we definitely needed somebody to put us in check. And you definitely played that role big time. So we had some good days, but we had some bad days too. But I want to say I'm not spreading love to you, and we here straight up definitely love you and your family.
Oh, thanks. I love y'all too.
Next up, we have Mr. Cool, Calm, and Collective, Craig. Now, if you watch the Straight Up Show theme song or the TV version, the intro, Craig is the cool one with long blonde hair. And Craig, if you can just tell us, well, first off, thank you for coming on the show once again. But can you just tell us what you did on the show?
Yeah, to my recollection, I think I mostly did camera, but I think kind of what y'all were saying about, or what Lee was saying about himself, I just kind of pick up any position that was available at the time. So I think I mostly was operating one of the studio cameras. If not, I may have helped out. Excuse me, I may have helped out on the audio board from time to time, or master control, something like that. But yeah, I think mainly focused on the cameras.
And like you did the smart thing and got out of Louisiana. No, I'm just kidding. No, but but no, you're not down south anymore, right?
I'm not. I moved to Michigan almost 2 years ago.
And how is that different from being out here or down south?
Um, it's different in a lot of ways. Traded, you know, one accent for another. Of course, they don't hear it up here. But definitely a much cooler climate. Even in the summers, it's not that hot, but it snows a lot up here. So you get like 3 or 4 months of warm weather, and then the rest of the time it's basically winter. And yeah, I mean it's gorgeous up here all year round. Definitely in the summer. I'm not a fan of the snow, so I don't plan on staying here for too long. But so far, my stay's been pretty enjoyable.
Man, brother, I do miss you, man. We've had a lot of run-ins, especially back outside of school. I miss you, man, and we got to keep in touch. So, but
Absolutely.
the show wasn't this. We had a lot of people that helped us out, faculty and staff. But this person that I'm about to bring in next did not help us out on the show much. But this person is very important to all of us on this show. If y'all can help me welcome Miss Paula Kazuba. Paula, how you doing,
No
Miss
way.
Kazuba?
Hey, everybody.
Zoomers!
Yes. How you doing?
Hey, Miss Kazuba.
Hello. Hello.
Surprise, everybody!
Yeah, congratulations. You brought the one person on the show who is hard to curse around.
Well,
I guess you didn't work much with me in the control room.
That was from you. That it was okay though.
What was in the control room stayed there. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I hope I got y'all because I told y'all it would be a surprise, right? I got y'all.
Yeah.
Definitely, Miss Kazuba, I want to thank you so much. I can't call you Paula. I'm sorry. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I know that you weren't as involved with the show, but I couldn't not have you on the show because you and Miss Peggy Byers of Bossier Parish Community College, you two were like mothers to us. And I know when I first came to Bipsy, and I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna let everybody else talk to her, but I'm sure that we all can tell you that college was different for us. But when we talked to y'all, you all made us feel like this is important and what y'all were teaching us was going to make or break our lives. And I want to personally say thank you because the knowledge that you gave us not only helped us come up with straight up and not be so scared to be vocal and be opinionated, but it helped me go on to be in TV and hence the podcast right now. So that's why I had to bring you because yeah, you weren't one of the main faculty members that helped us out on the show, but it was your teaching and that your inspiration that kind of groomed me into being the person I am today. So without that love and care that you and Miss Byers gave us, I wouldn't be here today. I'm about to get emotional because uh, you even to this day you still check up on a lot of your students and you don't have to, and I love you for that. So that's my side that I have to tell you, and so I want to take this opportunity, and it's our show, but you all can talk to Ms. Kazuba, but make sure you just kind of do it one at a time.
Thanks for that. I do want to tell you that part of the reason things worked out so well was because of Larry Powell. And his philosophy was if the students aren't having fun, then we're not doing a good time. Plus, we can have fun while we're learning. And I picked up on that right away because it's true. Yes, Brandon's shaking his head. You're the one I can see.
Yeah, Mr. Powell, like he really brought that. He was a great pillar and energy of that department, and it was really when he retired, that switch was made, like just something was missing.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Well, and Lee, if you can just, I just want to hold the floor to our guests first, or to our host first. But Lee, can you just kind of tell us what impact Ms. Kazuba and Ms. Byers made on you?
I actually didn't have too many interactions with Ms. Kazuba. Let's see. I think I had Ms. Byers for like half of my classes, so she had I had way more dealings with her, and she had way more of an impact. God, I love that lady. But Miss Kazuba was great too. I mean, like I said, we didn't interact too much, but she was always very approachable, and that's something that staff, really needed for, a bunch of us, wayward kids who were trying to figure out our lives and what we want to do with them, and how are we going to make this stuff we want to make, and that was valuable to me.
Mm. Good to hear that.
All right, and who wants to go next, Kaylynn or Kristina?
Flip a coin.
Okay. Well, kind of like Leland. I only had a few classes with Miss Kazuba, and most of mine were definitely with Mrs. Byers. And I hate that I don't remember the name of this class, but it was a night course, and we pack up the van and go do recordings. It was,
EFP.
Yes, that one. And that's the one class I can definitely remember. And you looked like you were either having the best or the worst time of your life during that class sometimes.
I loved that. Was my favorite class.
It was a great experience doing that one. I learned a lot during that course.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't work in the field anymore. I don't remember a ton of the information from it, but it was great. I got to experience how to run that whole little system and a lot of recording experience. And it was good. I remember doing the Christmas programs and doing different things like the festivals and the fairs, and it was always a really good time. You were always really positive and a very encouraging type of instructor, and I appreciated that because God bless you for dealing with me. I was so slow. It took me a good little while to get it, but you were like, "Oh no, you can get it. You can put your hands on it." And I was like, "Okay,
I did it. You can do it."
It's like, we'll see how it works. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really had a good time in that class for sure.
And I want to apologize, Ms.
I wish I had taken more of your classes.
Well, and one of the classes that Kristina and I had together was one of your classes. I forgot what class myself, but Kristina and I often got in trouble in your class. So I just want to say it was all her fault and not mine.
Okay. I understand.
Any class we had together, we got in trouble.
Oh, I did.
We were late. And it was usually his fault, though. It was usually Calvin's fault.
Oh, okay.
All right. Next up, we have Kaylynn.
I guess out of everyone in this podcast, I would say I'm probably the closest to Zoobers. We bonded very well over Harry Potter, of course.
It's on TV right now. It's on TV right now.
Oh my goodness, why am I here?
I know, the 5 channel. It's number 5.
But I actually stayed in contact even after I graduated with Kazuba. I believe I actually house sat for her a few times to watch the kitty, and while she went to go visit family. And I say we talk fairly often, at least once a year, and still actually send Christmas cards to each other.
Yep.
Aww.
I know.
Aww.
All right.
I'm gonna go fuss at Miss Byers one day.
I know we have to get her on the show one day. And then, of course, I want to let Craig get his piece in.
Yeah.
Greg.
How you doing, Kazuba?
I'm good. Thanks for being my date.
Thank you for being my date.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. She's referring to we were extras in the first Bipsy production that I worked on during the summer film. I just want to say that you are one of the sweetest and coolest teachers that I've ever had. Definitely my favorite. And I think I only had maybe 2 or 3 classes with you, but I was fascinated by the editing class, even though Avid sucked. But no, like I wasn't even sure at the time when I took your class if college was for me. And having you as a teacher, being there, very easy to learn from, very encouraging. It really inspired me to stay in college, and I realized that I could do it. And I ended up going on and get my bachelor's, and it really helped me solidify this field of work as something that I really am, trying hard to stay in, and basically realize what kind of path that I want to take. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you. Gosh, that makes me feel very special.
And you should. And like I said, I hate that we couldn't have Miss Byers on, but with them all saying these things, great things about you both, and especially you, that should make. I mean, how does that make you feel?
Of course, appreciated. And now, I mean, I'm retired, but I'm teaching up here at SUNY Adirondack Community College, and which is where I went to college for one wonderful year. Actually, I flunked out. I might have told y'all that story, but that's okay. And I met my husband at that college. So now I'm teaching there, which is funny, but just part-time, editing and the intro to mass comm. So I don't get involved with my students hardly at all because I don't have an office. I don't have office hours or see them work. And there's no TV production in the college. It's radio, very good radio. I miss production like crazy. So hearing everybody say something about their experiences at BIPC in production is very refreshing. Thanks.
And if you can tell one thing to your former students, some that do listen to the show, some who have been guests on the show, what's something that you can tell them just, going on their journey, post college, or just something inspirational that you can tell them?
Never give up. All of my life, I thought I told y'all this in one of my classes, but I wanted to do television and film, and I did everything late. I had got married and children. Then I went back to college and got my degree in education, and taught grade school for 10 years, being miserable kind of because I wanted TV and film, and then BIPC came along. So see, don't give up on your dreams. Watching Brandon do what he's doing. Well, click, click, click. No, just y'all are doing this. This is fantastic. And you are, I guess, following your dreams.
She came in pretty blinded, y'all. So just everything that she didn't know what was going to happen. So I just wanted to be a big surprise for all y'all. So just to kind of culminate and just bring it all together, because I know we don't have community college reunions. But this is probably the closest we can really do right now.
I would prefer that over a high school reunion any day.
Yeah, me too.
Since we do have her on the show, there's a question that I would like to ask Ms. Kazuba, since we never really talk about it. We talk about why we create a show, but we never really discuss like what part of that program that needed the feel of the show, because we
needed to express yourselves and use the skills that most of y'all had Miss Byers for performance type classes and directing and stuff. So you needed to be able to utilize all those skills and be able to express yourself. And you're on current topics. I love it.
I just remember like, we had to pitch it first, like a lot of shows. And then we had to literally build it from the ground up. And that was one thing I can honestly say and make you realize what all we could do and what we were able to do at a college like BIPC. I'm once again, we're being straight up. I do not recommend people go to BIPC anymore. I just can't, mainly because people like you aren't there. A lot of the classes that you taught, like Craig said, the video editing, hell, we even got film theory that, looking back now is just a huge huge class that, you know, Bibsy offered. The teachers at the time is what made that college great. You know, Miss Byers, you know, Eric isn't there right now.
Mm.
And like I said, when we lost our great dean, he's not dead.
No.
Yeah,
Larry.
I said it like he was dead, but he's not dead. Yeah.
Brandon,
What?
Yeah, Larry.
he did
Yeah.
pass away.
Yeah, he passed away last year. Yeah, I was gonna mention that, but I was gonna say that we can't continue talking about Larry without mentioning that he did pass away. So rest in peace, Larry Powell,
Oh, yeah.
because I know that's the last time I talked to you, Ms. Kazuba, was because I wanted to make his funeral, but I couldn't, um, but because I was closer to go see him than you were,
Yeah.
because you were all the way in New York, and but I wasn't able to make it, but. Um, so
Well,
when
there
you hear,
go.
yeah, when you hear all this, yeah, that she wasn't, or her or Miss Byers and Mr. Powell weren't as involved with our show, but it all started with a seed, and they definitely planted the seed in students who refused to give up, and from Kaylynn to Craig to Kristina, that's kind of why I chose them, because they are people, as they stated, they don't give up. You ask them to do something, they'll do it. And they don't look at it as just being authoritative. It's just that, hey, they want to continue to learn and more, grow more. And that's what you all instilled in us at Bibsy, Ms. Kazuba. So I definitely want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And we don't want to hold you up too long. I know you and Craig are an hour ahead of us. So I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And we would definitely be in contact with you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Kaylynn, Kristina Lee, and Craig, and Brandon, and of course Calvin. You're very sweet. I've always thought all of y'all were precious, even though you think of me as a mother.
Well, on the first day I met you, you did feed me. So
I beat you?
feed me.
Oh,
You gave me some food because I was about to pass out on set from not being
okay.
prepared.
Now you did beat me though, but you did hit me a couple times.
I
You
never
deserved it.
hit you. Oh, well, maybe you didn't. I didn't hit you. Did I?
Have you seen me compared to you? Yeah, you hit me a couple times.
You're funny. Well, if I could, I'd feed y'all all over again.
And maybe we'll do like a straight up tour to New York. I don't know.
Hey, it's so pretty up here in the Adirondacks. Honest, it's gorgeous.
And I thank you for just the overall inspiration, guidance, and the love motherly love that you gave us, that some of us who were lost needed.
Okay, you're welcome.
All
Hope
right,
to
Miss
do
Lee.
this again sometime.
Yes, ma'am.
What's up, everybody? Brandon here with Straight Up. We want you to be mindful of the importance of wearing a mask out in public. We know it's uncomfortable, but believe it or not, you are saving a life. This virus has hit our community hard, and scientists are still looking for a vaccine. So wash your hands, practice social distancing, and most importantly,
wear a damn mask.
All right. That was man, just to have Miss Kazuba back and talking to her. Oh man, that brought me back. I mean, it didn't bring you back too, Lee?
I'm nostalging pretty hard right now.
Nostalgia pretty hard. And we still have Kazuba on the line with us too, so she's gonna hang around for a little bit for this block. So we couldn't get rid of her that fast. So she's still here. All right. So I wanna start this, go around the table right quick, and I'm gonna ask you all, you've all been part of Straight Up. So with that being said, I wanna know from each of y'all, what does Straight Up mean to you? And I want to start with Craig.
So what I always liked about Straight Up, especially like at the time when we started it at Bibsy, or y'all started it, I just ran the cameras. It gave the students a platform, and I think that's already been said. It gave the students a voice about certain topics, allowed them to bring different ideas to the table and discuss it. And, there was always a risk of, it getting a little too straight up with certain people. So, I really liked it because it was always real, it was about as real as it was allowed to get. And to see everybody sticking with it, like all these years later, that's really cool.
All right. Well, Craig, I know you said it was our show, man, but you helped out. So definitely you were forever part of the Straight Up family. And I don't want you to ever forget that, all right?
Appreciate it.
All right. Our general, our captain, Kaylynn, same question to you. What does straight up mean to you?
I kind of think the same thing that Craig, or Thor, as I always called him. It means that we got together. It means that we were able to voice our opinion on anything that was, of course, approved. But it also let us spend time together with people our age and work on things that we were working on in the classroom, but kind of doing it on our own and teaching each other different ways. And it just gave us more practice inside the control room or on camera or just running the equipment.
I agree with that. It definitely gave us hands-on experience running our own actual production as students.
Thank you for that. And by the way, if y'all have never seen Craig, he does look like Thor. Like legit looks like Thor.
Yep.
I remember Halloween night. Craig was Thor, and I was like, wow, he actually looks like Thor.
I don't know if you don't mind this, Thor, but while we were working at the station, we would actually make signs of Craig's face on Thor's body and put it around the station.
Oh yeah,
And,
I saw those. Those were great.
I actually still have a few in my desk, just keep for memories. But it was a fun thing that we always did at the station.
Oh wow! So y'all having like a mini KSLA reunion right now. All right. Thank you so much for that. Now I'm gonna go to Kristina. Kristina, you've been on this show. You've probably been the most. You probably been on this show as a guest more than anybody. So next up is you, and I want to hear your opinion. Same question. Um, straight up is what to you? What does it mean to you?
It's just a open space for opinion, somewhere you don't have to really worry about what you're saying, or if you do have to worry about it, you can discuss it in a pretty neutral setting. It's just somewhere where you get to really go for the things that mean something to you and just talk it out with people who are somewhat like-minded. I don't count you, but no problem. I'll take you for a little while longer. But that's pretty much it for me. It's just a good place. It's a good vibe.
Good vibes. Okay, I like to hear that. And you better put up with me. And Ms.
I'm
Kazuba, I
not
know
quite at you, Calvin.
Ms. Kazuba, we like to kick Kristina off the show, but we definitely are glad that you stayed around because we welcome you, unlike other people. No, I'm just kidding. And same question. Same question. I just want to hear your opinion. Like I said, I know you weren't as involved in the show, but you kind of caught a little glimpse of what we're all about. But from what you saw and what you're hearing from everybody else, what do you mean? What does straight up mean to you?
Well, I wish I'd been there when you guys started this, and I, could have been a little more. I shown some support, but I don't know what was going on when did this start?
It was a big. Let's just say that the transition that we all know, that transition was happening as we began the show. That transition. We don't have to go in detail, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure all 7 of us know what that transition was.
Yeah. So I was battling different emotions at the time because it was really kind of depressing, and I'd get angry, and Actually, I had a prayer. I said, through. Plus, the light at the end of the tunnel was I knew I was going to be moving up here. It helped me. And so I think I put almost everything else out of my head at the time. I mean, I heard y'all talking about it and you were planning it, and I thought it was wonderful. But I was just trying to avoid any negativity from people, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah. So, I mean, we couldn't even meet. If three of us were faculty members were together, we kind of got in trouble. Yeah.
Well, thank you for keeping it straight up on that.
You're welcome.
And so there were some people we don't want to never forget. Like I said, there are a lot of people that have helped out. Courtney, Coty, Mitch, who's been on our show before, but somebody that I worked with, my co-anchor on the news program, she couldn't be here today, but she wanted to give this message in response to what she's been going through and what Straight Up meant to her. So listen to this.
Shelby Howe, I was a panelist on the show. Now I am married and I work in commercial insurance. I basically manage a book of business for a producer. Straight Up, the show is such a valuable thing, and I wish that I would have known back then how important it was. Now it is so rare to be able to share your opinion without getting backlash. And we did that successfully on numerous topics with all kinds of different people. And I don't remember us ever thinking negatively. I don't remember ever thinking negatively of another person or even having them treat me in a different way because I thought differently than them. I just remember us having fun and enjoying the conversations and the different perspectives. And I wish that more people had that. I'm thankful to have been a part of conversations that were not full of criticism. And if the show continues, or even just for listeners and the people who are on the show now, I pray that that's the way it continues to go.
So what do you have to say about Shelby?
Well, she can't answer my question, but did you finish your project, Shelby? No, that was a joke. I sent her that as a text message once.
I remember working with Shelby quite often because we were also on the same news team, the morning show scholarship program. But Shelby was always a good game player and was always down for anything and was definitely always there whenever we needed her.
With Shelby, she brought a very specific thing to the show. Just like Kristina, you could always count on Shelby to, bring it 100. She was always someone that could always, give her opinion. I'm very happy to hear that she sees what it is. I honestly, we knew what Straight Up was back then, but I don't think we didn't realize how big it will be now in terms of how much it's needed. We always said people need a space to speak up. Now we are in this, cancel culture, and we have a lot of this like backlash if you just support this one thing that could be just so small. You can be blacklisted. You can be bashed on in a worse way to where you're embarrassed or you no longer feel safe just being on something like Facebook. So like her, I do want to keep pushing to make sure that we keep that with us. So I'm very happy to hear that that's how she feels.
She was my partner in crime. She, if it wasn't Kaylynn on me, it was definitely Shelby, because Shelby definitely kept me straight too. And we didn't always get along, but at the end of the day, we did love each other. So Shelby, if you're out there, hey, much love to you, and I want to thank you so much for putting up with me after all these years, and teaching me a thing or two. So I really appreciate you. And next up, we have another panelist, Devin. So Devin, what do you have to say?
Hey, what's going on, Straight Up fam? My name is Devin Cochran, and I'm a former panelist for Straight Up. Now live in Denver, Colorado, and I work for the Denver Public Library on the marketing team. I take care of all of our social media and digital marketing and advertising. Um, what Straight Up means to me is definitely being true to yourself. I think since we filmed Straight Up, I think I've grown exponentially as a person and being true to myself, and being true with others. I don't think that it's possible to forge impactful or relationships that have substance or depth with folks if you're not being straight up. I think on the show, it was very interesting to have different perspectives and different views than most of the people we sat next to, but it was still good to be called out and to have your opinion challenged, and never in like a demeaning way. I feel like nowadays it can be difficult to share your honest opinion because someone may try to discredit you or say that you're ignorant or that you don't know enough. But I think it's all about being humble and taking things in good stride. What I do miss about the show is probably the conversations that took place after the camera stopped rolling. It was very interesting to kind of like touch back on things that someone may have said while we were like, like walking off the set and heading back into the break room. You know, those were always the conversations that made it a bit more of an impact for me for some reason because being outside of that 30 minutes or an hour recording the show, it was easy to just kind of like be like, oh, like Natalie, you said this, and like I really want you to elaborate on that feeling, or Calvin, like you expressed this, and I relate to that. I just think it really showed me what it felt like to dig deeper with someone. And I carry that with me in every way today now. As a queer black man who is slowly making his way through life, I'm taking every opportunity I can to be heard, to be seen, and to always be straight up. Also, I would really like to give a shout out to my Bipsy wife, the forever love of my life, Natalie. Thanks. Because I think, again, kind of like going back to what happened after the camera stopped recording, it was always straight up with Natalie, and no matter where we were, she was always like very blunt with her opinion and matter of fact. And I appreciate that from her, and I've taken a lot from her. And had it not been for Straight Up or joining the broadcasting team at Bipsy, I don't think that I would have had such a wonderful friend in her. Much love to everyone. I miss you all.
All right, thank you, Devin. So what do y'all think about Devin? Devin's doing pretty good. He's in Colorado.
Devin was always that. From my perspective, if you would put Devin and me back then, Devin was always that like intellectual. He wanted to be the anchor reporter. I just wanted to like even back then create and just be me. Devin always had that just a little bit more professional aspect and back then, for me.
Yeah,
Well,
he was definitely my favorite panelist. Even if I wasn't on there that day, I loved to hear Devin speak, and it was a good time. He was really good to me too. He was always a hype man for me on the sidelines. I'm like, yeah, you did so well. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get off the show.
yeah, he's the
He's like,
same way
no,
right
I
now.
need you to come back. He's like, I need you to come back here right now. And I loved Devin. I missed him when he left. I was like, man,
Yeah,
my
and
boy's gone.
yeah, we want to thank Devin so much for just being a part of the show and definitely keeping it straight up and being just being himself. And he definitely cracked me up on a number of times. And we have a skit with Devin and Steffon, and shout out to Steffon too. But they were twins. Steffon was too young to get into the club, and he transformed into Devin. And this is when Gangnam Style was out. That's how old we are. And Craig, you remember that one? And
So yeah.
and then I've never seen Gangnam Style, and all of a sudden, like all you see is a video of Devin just doing Gangnam Style on the in the elevator. I'm like, oh my goodness, man, what did we put ourselves into? But that's actually a skit for Straight Up. So Devin played a big part Straight Up as well. We have one more person who's gonna kind of tell us what they've been up to, and I'll let her tell her story and introduce herself.
Hey everyone, it's Natalie Banks, and I'm so excited to be on the show today. I was a little surprised Calvin reached out to me since I was only on one episode of Straight Up, and I guess you could say I was too opinionated, too honest, too real, too straight up, but I had fun. It was a great opportunity for me to say what I needed to say, unfiltered, uncensored, and have a great time while doing it. Currently, I'm the broadcast director at a local church. I oversee a team of volunteers who help produce our live stream and our television broadcast. I have an absolute blast doing it. I enjoy it. Again, Straight Up was a great opportunity for me to just be me, share what I had to say, uncensored, unfiltered, and have fun. So I thank you, Calvin, for giving me that opportunity, and thank you all for allowing me to come back. Have a great rest of the show.
Oh, like Natalie was definitely spunky.
Y'all remember what I said about it getting too straight up? I was talking about Natalie.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. She is definitely, she's one of those opinionated people that is not scared to tell you how it is.
Hey, I'm taller than she is.
Yeah.
Are you taller than her, Kazuba? Are you
Yes,
taller?
I am.
You are? Okay.
We all are.
But
Natalie was
tiny.
always that small ball of spice, you know,
Woo.
like she
was straight up fire.
hot sauce.
yeah, like she would say almost, I say almost anything. Natalie would say almost anything. And
she had no filter. It's definitely a gift.
I actually go to the church she works for, so I see her there a lot, and I'm like, oh, she's still exactly the same Natalie. She's still so busy, and she knows what she's doing, and she does it really well. It's almost intimidating to see her working, but she's really just exactly who she's always seemed to be. That if you had to put a face to being Straight Up, it would have to be Natalie. That girl is,
She's a fighter.
determined. So she is gonna be fine.
She's a fighter in life and a fighter like on the show. So I mean, and she actually did work for the Cleveland Browns, the NFL team. So she's been out there. Yeah, she's been doing some professional work. So kudos to Natalie, and thank you so much for just giving us a sound bite and being a part of Straight Up. And we definitely have much love for you as far as that. But that's pretty much it, y'all, for our reunion. I hope that all y'all had a good time. I want to thank y'all so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's been awesome getting to talk with all y'all again.
Yeah, it definitely brings back good memories.
Yes, it does.
Well, we would definitely keep in touch with all y'all, and I hope that we extend the invitation to all of y'all except Kristina to come back on the show and be a guest.
Sure, just let me know.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
Just give me a time and date.
Sorry, Kristina. I like messing with her. I like messing with Kristina.
I'll save my words for when company's gone. I got you.
In my company.
Yeah, your company.
I wouldn't put anybody else through it.
Hey everybody, Lee here. And guess what? The reviews are in and the Straight Up Show podcast is a hit. Don't believe me? Well, listen to what one of our guest panelists, Dr. Monique Thompson, has to say.
Listen, y'all listening to Straight Up and support this podcast, because I listened in before I came on the show. I liked what I heard. They're really focusing on keeping things real and being real with you, and I like that approach. So you guys support this podcast.
So if you want to listen, donate to the show, have a subject idea, or even want to be a guest, just contact us at straightupshow@gmail.com. That's straightupshow@gmail.com.
All right, so that was one heck of a reunion show. I bet y'all weren't expecting me to have a special guest, did you, Lee?
I was literally surprised by your surprise guest. So good kudos to you for that.
Yeah, me too.
Ta-da! Ta-da!
I knew it was either going to be Victoria or it's going to be a faculty member.
Hey,
So,
and Kaylynn, she said it when we were talking, but I tried to play it off really smooth, like, oh yeah, Kazuba, I hadn't talked to her in a while. And did that surprise you, Kaylynn?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I threw a few guesses out, so you did kind of throw me off.
I'm good at that. So this is our reunion, and I had a good time. But before we go conclude all this, I definitely want to give a shout out to once again Mitch, Coty, Victoria, Jill, Sarah, uh, just Kane. I'm trying to figure out who else. A lot of people that Courtney. It just help me out, Brandon, if I'm missing anybody. Devin, Prince, yeah, Prince Lofton, Finch. There's people that helped us out along the way. I don't want y'all to forget that you all contributed to. It was kind of short notice, and this is at the time of this recording, this is a busy week for Brandon because next time you hear us, Brandon will be a newlywed. So before we go any further, we just want to congratulate Brandon on his marriage right now. So congratulations, Brandon.
appreciate it. Yeah, I want to make sure, we ended up with a bang. And yeah, next time y'all hear from me, I will have a band on my finger.
I forgot we got two married people. So Kaylynn and Lee, before we get into our conclusion, do y'all have any wedding tips for Brandon at all, or marriage tips at all, or what?
She is always right. Say yes, dear, very often, and just do what you're told.
Yeah, that sounds like Kaylynn. Yeah.
Lee, do you have any marriage tips at all?
Just enjoy the ride, man. Just enjoy the time you have with each other as much as you can.
With that being said, I unfortunately due to this circumstances I can't make it to the wedding, Brandon. But you're my brother, man, and throughout this whole thing, since the beginning, you've been there by my side, man. And I definitely want to say I love you, like a brother. And congratulations on the wedding. You have one beautiful bride, very smart, intelligent, and I know that she'll be your rock, man. Just make sure that wherever you go through, take God with you. All right.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, like we always say, no matter what, we're gonna keep things rolling. And season 2, that's we already talking about that. So
Yep, and we are. And Lee, can you just bring us out right quick? Can you just tell us what do you want to see out of season 2?
Yeah, honestly, what I think I might be looking forward to most in season 2 is what guests we can get, because this first season has been so wonderfully jam packed with some great people, some great voices, and I'm looking forward to seeing what other new voices and as in addition to the returning ones, of course, but I'm looking forward to hearing some new people, some new voices, some new opinions, some new topics. It's gonna be fun, y'all. Give us a listen.
And make sure before we go any further, make sure if you're listening and you listen to Apple Podcasts for sure, leave us a review. Tell us what we think about it. Give us rate our show and give us 5 stars. We usually have an email to say if you don't like our show, you can send it somewhere. But forget it. Lee, if they have any concerns or criticisms, they want to criticize our show, they can send their hate mail to what's the email?
Oh, let me look it up real quick. I believe it is. Yeah, that's right. It's idon'tcare@gmail.com.
It's idon'tcare@gmail.com. No, I'm just kidding. But if you do want to contribute, that's how it is, Craig. But seriously though, if you want to give us feedback, definitely go to Apple Podcasts or go to our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram page, and let us know. You can hear most of our podcasts on all streaming platforms: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Simplecast, Spotify. And make sure if you want to contribute to the show, because we do need better equipment, you can do that at Cash App. At Cash App, Straight Up Show Podcast 318. Straight Up Show Podcast 318. if you want to cash app donations to our show. Until then, guys, that's a wrap for season 1. This has been the reunion episode. I am your host, Calvin, with my friends Brandon, Lee, Craig, Ms. Kazuba, Kaylynn, Kristina, Natalie, Shelby, Devin. Until then, there's only one rule to the show is you have to be
Well, I guess we're just not going to do that then, are we?
just awkward pause, right, guys? Let's try it again.
You
So
fail every time.
I fail
I
every
missed the
time.
cue.
Okay, I'm gonna try this again. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave this in there. I'm gonna leave this in the show because this happens every time. All right, let's try this again. Rewind. Until then, there's only one rule to the show is you have to be
Straight up.